July 2025 come and gone, and oh my gosh, I have been insanely busy. This today is my first day home more than 24 hours in more than a week. And my last 4 weekends, well, 3 weekends I wasn't home, 2 weekends, or sorry, 1 weekend I had stuff going on both days, so it kind of felt like I wasn't home. Summer is summering. I don't know where the time has gone. It was going so smoothly. I was really enjoying kind of like a staycation backyard summer, and then bam, everything just kind of happened all at once, and I feel like I've been going nonstop. I have like the mystery bruises that I have no idea where they came from. Right now I'm just happy to be home in my own bed. And excited to film this video finally, because I feel like it's been on my mind for so long. We're already over a week into August, and I finally just have time to sit down and film. I don't feel ready to film, but I want to film July's video. So here we go. We're going to talk about memories and experiences. We're going to talk about, there's some doozies in there, by the way, some really good ones for last month. We're going to talk about books that I read. We're going to talk about purchases that I made. We're going to talk about the decks that I used for the month of July, and then we'll finish off with August's moon tray, like always. Memories and experiences. There's some really, really good ones. So, first of all, there is a woman, her Instagram handle is Your Beauty Witch in the Six. I've been following her for ages. I thought she was in Toronto. I made the assumption on her name, in the six, as a reference to Toronto, the 416. And I assumed because of that she was in Toronto. Turns out she is in my town, my city. So she had this event, Tattoo and Tarot. And I just happened to stumble across it on Instagram. And I was like, what's this? This is right up my alley. What do we have here? And you go for 88 Canadian dollars, you get your tarot cards read, and you get a tattoo. A tattoo for $88 is insane. The minimum sitting fee, at least where I am, is $100. So $88 and I get a tarot reading. Perfect. So she has this house in the outskirts of my city, so she's basically in the country, and it is the perfect witchy house. It is the witchy house of my dreams. I don't know how this place, I don't know how I didn't know it didn't exist. I don't know how I didn't know it existed. I'm so excited, I'm tongue-tied. So I go in, and she sits me down, and I just kind of perused, and the way the tattoo works is it's a flash sale kind of thing. So you can't necessarily walk in and say, I want this. You kind of have to pick from a bunch of predetermined tattoos that are usually very simple. So I have wanted the Aquarius constellation for a really long time. So that was a no-brainer for me. I got the Aquarius constellation, and I got my tarot reading. She also has like a head spa where they do that, I don't know what it's called, where there's like a copper bar that goes over your head, and it's water, and it goes over your head repeatedly, and they wash your hair, and it's really relaxing. She has that. So that's kind of what you see off in the corner of that video. But so, yeah, I got my tattoo and I got my tarot reading. The tarot cards, I'll post what my cards were. It started off, it was supposed to be a 3-card reading for stop, start, and continue. And when I sat down, she was kind of like, well, what do you want your cards to be read about? And I was like, oh, I didn't realize we had a choice. I thought it was stop, start, continue. She's like, okay, we'll go with that. And the first card nailed it. But we spent so much time on that first card that the rest of the reading was kind of rushed because the next person was coming in. But I really connected with her, and she did feel fairly intuitive, although I also did give her a lot to feed off of. So it's kind of hard to say. But such is the way with tarot readings. We're not really sure sometimes, but I did genuinely like her. And after the tarot reading, she actually took me into her own personal witchy office, and it was like I was in heaven. This room, first of all, it's massive. It's like 4 of my bedrooms. I can't even begin to describe it. I wish I could have filmed it. I wish I could show you guys, but it was her personal space, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry it's so messy. I wasn't expecting company. This room was perfection. But anyway, it was like, oh my God, a kindred spirit. So anyway, I get my tattoo. I meant to take videos of getting the tattoo, but me and the tattoo artist were just talking. So let's see. Here is it's upside down on the video. It's upside down for you guys, but here's my Aquarius constellation. So I wanted brown ink. And they said that was very unusual. And they were like, why do you want brown ink? And I said, because I want it to look like freckles. So it is still healing right now. But I think once it lightens up a little bit, I think mission accomplished. And once she was doing the tattoo, she was like, this is a brilliant idea. She's like, I want to do more of these in brown. Not only that, but she color matched it to my freckles. She actually like swatched colors, ink on my arm and color matched it. Like she went above and beyond here. It was fantastic. So I finally have my Aquarius constellation. I kind of want the Pisces as well, because Pisces is my rising. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, it would be super easy to hide it on my arms, especially if I get the brown. So that was a very fun experience, and I would totally do it again. And so happy that it just kind of like worked out. And then the same weekend was the Bancroft Gem and Mineral Show, which I did not go to the main one. There's a huge one that is the August long weekend, the Civic long weekend. And I always have plans that weekend. I have a cornhole tournament that I must attend. So I can never go to the Bancroft big gem and mineral show. But they had one the weekend before, which is a smaller version. So I attended that, and the prices weren't as good as the one I attended in May, which was in the Kawarthas. So I did pick up a couple things, which will be in purchases. But what I loved about this was if you paid an extra $2 on top of your ticket, you got admission to the Gem and Mineral Museum, which was just down the road. I was fully expecting a really kind of like rinky-dink, half-ass put together museum of gem and minerals, and it was rinky-dink, but in the best possible way. It was not half-assed at all. I really enjoyed walking around this museum and looking at all of the specimens they had and reading all of the plaques and just being in the presence of all these stunning minerals that are mostly collected right there, like in Bancroft. There was obviously other areas, Quebec even a little bit, but it was such a fun experience, and I'm so glad we decided to add on to our ticket and go into that museum, because that was probably my favorite part of the day. So those were the two kind of main events that happened in the month of July that pertain to my channel that I will share with you guys, but I feel like they were so perfect and just excellent to share with you guys. So those were the memories and experiences for July. The other little tidbit I'll throw in at the end of memories and experiences is that I have been making some YouTube shorts. So a couple people had said they wanted me to make a crystal collection video, and I would love to do that. I would love to do that. But the thought of it gives me anxiety and makes me feel overwhelmed, because I have a lot of tiny crystals. I have a lot of small things. I am not a big collector. I'm a small collector because it's more affordable. So the thought of making that video is just not, I can't. I would love to, but I cannot do it. So what I decided to do instead was to make a bunch of YouTube shorts where I kind of condense the collections into like towers, spheres, tumbles, like kind of little things like that, and it's a little bit more manageable for me. It's definitely been a learning curve. I learned the hard way. I pre-made so many of these videos because it was like one weekend I was feeling super creative, and I was like, I'm just gonna bang out like some of these videos so that I have like weeks worth of these to post, and I'm not stressing about, I've got to film another one. I haven't posted one in over a week. I have to film another one. And then I learned that in order to use copyrighted music, they have to be less than 60 seconds. So that sucked, because most of them were over 60 seconds. So lessons were learned, and I refilmed a whole bunch of them, and I had to make some part ones and part twos, but this has been really fun. I really enjoyed making these, and I really enjoy picking the music to go along with them. I'm very particular about the music that goes along with them, but my plan is to be posting these every 4 to 5 days, which so far is what I've been doing. And I still have, I think, about 8 of them lined up ready to go. So there's many more that I have yet to film. But the thought of having some of them in the draft folder really made me feel a lot less stress about posting these. So if you are looking for my crystal collection video, or you want me to do one, check out the shorts. I am not a huge YouTube short person. I don't typically watch them, but this was just easier for me, and it made the most sense for me to post my crystal collection. So that's another thing I got up to in the month of July, and check those out if you're interested. Books. So I read 4 books in July, and so I physically read 2 of them on the Kindle and listened to the other 2 on Spotify or Audible, one of the 2. So the first one I physically read was I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This was a thinker. Spoiler free as always. It's like a dystopian, perhaps, society where these women are taken into these bunkers below earth. They're essentially kidnapped and taken. They're taken against their will. And they are in these bunkers. It's always artificial light. They don't know what day it is. They don't even know what time of day it is. They're fed. There's these guards that kind of look after them but never speak to them. They have no idea what's happening. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but it focuses on the POV of the youngest one in this group of women, and I'm still to this day thinking about this book. To this day, it's been a month, but it's really, like, for me, I'm kind of like, ooh, what is even the message of the book? There's so many possible options for what the message could be. It's a really great thinker. I highly recommend. It was very interesting. I think it says right in the first paragraph of the book, not exactly a happy ending. So if you need a happy ending, not the one for you, but it wasn't too bad. I didn't find it too bad. I require happy endings, but this was not too bad. The next one I listened to on Audible because TikTok told me to, and they were not wrong, is Project Hail Mary. And you might be wondering, it's by Andy Weir. You might be wondering why I have the physical book if I listen to it on Audible. Because I loved it so much. I also want to, at some point, physically read the book. I also wanted to get my hands on a copy without Ryan Gosling. I was like, Ryan Reynolds? It's one of the Ryans. Ryan Gosling is playing the main character in this movie that's coming out in like March. Do not watch the trailer if you want to read this book. There are several spoilers in the trailer. Now, they are out of context, so you probably won't understand what exactly is being spoiled, but just trust me, don't watch the trailer if you want to read the book. And I highly recommend the audio version. It was fantastic. So good. Probably one of my favorite reads so far of 2025. So good, in fact, that I bought the book. And like I said, I bought this version because I wanted to get the one without the movie cover. I wanted the OG cover. I think now they might all have the movie poster on it. Not sure. The one with Ryan Gosling on it. I mean, it's fine. If you want a book with Ryan Gosling on the cover, not complaining. But I wanted the original version. So I've not read any of Andy Weir's books. The Martian is one of them. I kind of wish I read The Martian. I watched the movie. Maybe a few years down the road, after I kind of clear my headspace from this and maybe read it again, I'll try that one. But so good. There's something destroying our sun on Earth, and in outer space somewhere, there is a star, a sun, that is not being destroyed by these things that are destroying our sun. So they send out some scientists, some people, to go figure out what's so special about that sun and how that sun is not being destroyed by what's destroying the sun here. And I'll leave it there. I am not a sci-fi person, and it was worth it. So good. So, like I said, probably my top read of 2025 so far. I wish I would have read it sooner. I've seen people talking about it for a long time now. Wish I would have done it sooner. Next, I finished Crescent City. finally. So The House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. I listened to this on Audible. I've listened to all Sarah J. Maas books, starting from ACOTAR all the way through, so I just kind of want to keep it the same. Listen, I messed up. I should have read this book immediately after the second Crescent City book. Can't even remember what they're all called. I just needed a break, and the break ended up being a lot longer than anticipated, and because of that, I didn't necessarily remember what was happening or understand what was going on. I also kind of wish I read ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City all back to back, because, I'm not going to say why, but if you're wanting to get into this series, read them back to back so that everything is fresh in your mind. Crescent City, I will say, out of the 3 series, ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City, it was the most difficult for me to get into. It was the most difficult for me to pay attention to and understand what was happening. Still good. I still recommend it. There's still some jaw-dropping revelations in Crescent City. Do you need to read Crescent City for the next ACOTAR book? Short answer is I don't know. Long answer is I would say yes, but it also depends on a lot of things. Gosh, I can't say anything without spoiling anything. If you know, you know. But I would definitely, I say read Throne of Glass and Crescent City before the next ACOTAR book comes out. That's my personal opinion. There's going to be some people who struggle and perhaps curse me for saying that, especially when it comes to Crescent City, but I think you should. Last book I read. This was my book club book. My Friends by Fredrik Backman. So this was the book that was voted for our book club. I physically read this on the Kindle, and I cried a lot. A lot. It's a story of friendship, really, ultimately. I'm not going to go too into detail. It's one of those stories where it flips back and forth between present time and the past. Kind of got a little frustrating. The writing style, this is my first Fredrik Backman book as well, so the writing style was a little frustrating for me. I found there was lots of similes and metaphors on one page, on every single page. It was constant. He speaks in metaphors and similes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. But it was very good. Just because I didn't like the writing style doesn't mean I can't appreciate a good book, and this was really good. I gave it, I think, 4.25 stars in my book club rating, and they all were shocked. It got a lot of 3.75, 3.25 in my book club, so a lot of them were not massive fans of it, not like I was, but for me, it was a great story, and it got me. There was a couple things that I thought I knew how they would play out, and I was wrong. So, and it caught me off guard that I was wrong. I thought it was kind of like assumed that this is how this was going to go, and nope. So love it when that happens. So those were the 4 books that I read / listened to in the month of July. Some really good ones with my friends and Project Hail Mary, and I am so glad I'm finally done with Crescent City. So glad. Those books are like 29 hours long when you listen to them. It's insane. Purchases. So obviously I have some purchases to show you from the Gem and Mineral show, and then we stopped at a crystal store on the way back, and I'm just going to insert a quick little video of this store. Oh my gosh. This is now hands down my favorite crystal store ever. And I definitely made some purchases in this crystal store. Some money was spent here, but it's like 2 hours away, I think, 2.5 maybe. So I mean, it's probably for the best that it's that far away, but this store was my absolute favorite, and I did make some purchases in that store, so we'll talk about those. And then my sister sent me a gigantic box of crystal goodies, which I will show you. So I'm freshly home from the Gem and Mineral show in Bancroft, and I wanted to show you everything that I got while I was there so that I can start putting it all away. So I have it all with me. Now, I only actually bought a handful of things at the Gem and Mineral show. One is gifts, so I'm not going to show that one, but the other ones I am like so excited about. So this is a Herkimer diamond, and it is full of rainbows, and it's so stunning. I love Herkimer diamonds. I have Herkimer diamond jewelry, earrings and rings. They're just so beautiful. And what's great when you buy them at these Gem and Mineral shows is you get a little card that says where they got them from and what they are. Sometimes they say the date, but that one does not. Now, the two items I purchased both came from the same supplier, Fred. Oh no, I don't know how to say that. So they're both from him, but this is a decent size Herkimer diamond, and it's just so pretty, and the price was great, so I went for that one. I wish that the rainbows were showing a little more, but this light isn't perfect. I mean, you can kind of see them. So that's my Herkimer diamond. And then the other thing I bought was a piece of calcite from Hunan, China, from the same guy. And this piece is stunning. So this is kind of what I was looking for, was more raw pieces like this. Oh, there's pieces coming off of it. I think that's unavoidable, but I just really like, I have a lot of spheres, I have a lot of towers, I have a lot of like little things. So I was really on the hunt for something different and outside of what I already have. And this was beautiful. So this is the calcite. Not entirely sure, like if that's quartz or if that's calcite, what that part is. But even the bottom is this like black sugar druzy. It's just stunning. And this part will fluoresce. I don't know, it might be too bright. We can try it. Yeah, see how it fluoresces. An orange calcite typically does fluoresce, so exciting. I am obsessed. So does this back part? No, so that's not calcite, which I didn't think it was. Kind of looks like a dog tooth calcite, but I think it's just quartz formations. But yeah, so this is my new baby. This is my big piece that I'm really, really happy about. Again, the price was fantastic. That's kind of the one good thing about going to these Gem and Mineral shows, is that you can find bigger pieces for less. This one though, I didn't really find anything too crazy. Oh, I might have to like prop that up, because it's kind of like, it would be better if it was like that. So prop something under here maybe. Anyway, so that's what I got at the Gem and Mineral show. However, where it was at was this place here, this Lakeside Gems rock shop. We drove by it on the way there, and I actually didn't see it, but my mom did. So she was like, oh, let's go check it out. We'll go see what they have. I don't know how to prevent that from happening, but I spent so much money at this place, and I still got good deals. So we'll start with, I think because I spent so money, I got to pick a free tumble. And this is my free tumble. Woohoo! So I just closed my eyes and reached in and picked a tumble, and I got a little wee smoky quartz. So that's cute. Then I got this heart, which I think is just so interesting. How cool is that? It reminds me of the other red heart I have, but my mom bought one that's kind of like the sister to it. So I really liked how we both kind of have the same-ish heart. And then I saw this adorable smoky quartz skull. Great price. Again, skulls and skull carvings, any kind of carving is really expensive. And they did have clear quartz ones, which I would love a clear quartz skull, but they were so much more money than this little smoky guy. So I love smoky quartz. Smoky quartz, I find, is getting a little bit more difficult to find, so I was okay with that one. Then we have this stunning calcite sphere, and it does have a star. So I don't know, I can do it with my camera flash, but I don't know if this light will make it happen. I doubt it. Watch your eyes. You can kind of see where the line starts. Where does it intercept? I think it intercepts right there, but with this lighting, she's not gonna do it. I'll have to insert a picture of her outside. But calcite has lots of rainbows, so she's also stunning. I have a honey calcite sphere and a white calcite sphere, so this is a nice one to add to the collection. Ooh, there's some pretty rainbows. Not sure if you guys can see those. And my mom and I both got one of these for our house. So it's just a agate piece, but it's drilled with a candle, and you'll be able to see through it. The one my mom has is stunning. There's less of the kind of more solid color, and it's more just this crystal quartz that has so many rainbows. Mine has a few, nothing crazy. Hers is definitely more beautiful, but I just love that when the candle is lit, you'll be able to see a glow coming from it, and it does match our like living room decor color. There's a little bit of a druzy on the back. Also great price, so pleased with that. And my new favorite, oh, I'm so excited, a quartz bowl, and she is huge and she is so pretty pink. Oh, just so rich in pink. The camera's washing it out ever so slightly, well, maybe a little more than slightly. But this was, again, the price was fantastic, and it is huge. It is bigger than my hand. And I've been wanting a rose quartz bowl for a really long time. And I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with it because I have so many ideas. I did see there's a Pinterest photo that comes up quite regularly for me, and they just put, this is also a star. Yeah, see, it's a little too small, but they have a rose quartz sphere inside their rose quartz bowl, but that one is too small for sure. I thought about just putting this in. I don't know if I like the colors together, or I could put a bunch of stuff in it. I could put a lot of little things in it, or I could use it for rituals and put like water in it and rose petals and use it as like an offering, like a beauty ritual offering kind of thing to Venus or Aphrodite or something like that. And I think it would just be perfect for, you just pour the water out or into plants or into your bath. Oh my gosh, so many ideas, so many ideas. Again, it's lacquered to make that shine, so I wouldn't drink the water probably. I don't know. I'm still kind of weird about that. I don't know how much I trust the polishing agents that they apply to crystals and ingesting them. But so yes, those are the crystals that I managed to nab at the gem show and at Lakeside Gems Rock Shop. Very exciting. So we need to discuss this amazing package I just got in the mail. My sister just sent me all of these and it is insane. I knew she was sending me stuff, but I had no idea it was this much, and I've just kind of left it all on the table instead of doing one piece at a time because that'll take way too long. So my sister makes her own jewelry and she sent some like spares or ones that she doesn't love or ones that she thought we would really like. So this is amethyst, and that's either amethyst or fluorite. I would say it's amethyst. Gorgeous. Then we have a, oh no, blue lace agate, if I can get it out, a blue lace agate pendant, which is also really pretty. Maybe some Herkimer diamonds. I'm not sure what those are. And then this last one is a jasper of some sort. I'm not sure what kind, but it is really neat looking. very detailed. And then of course, bracelets. We have so many bracelets. So there's a reason why I have two separate piles of bracelets, because I have already picked out the ones I'm keeping. And the reason I'm saying I'm keeping is because I have to share this haul with my mom. So these are all the ones that I am willing to let her pick from. This is so awful. I sound like such a jerk. So again, my sister made all of these, and these were the ones that she sent because she couldn't hide the knots, or like she got the count wrong and they're not placed properly. So stunning. So those are the ones my mom's going to get to choose from, and then the ones I kept for myself, the ones I shotgunned, if you will, are these ones. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So we'll put those in a separate pile. All right. We have this malachite slab. I do think my mom's going to want this one, but that is a gorgeous piece of malachite. So malachite, really good for empaths and your heart chakra, controlling your feelings, etc. Then we have this Mexican crazy lace. So this side is polished. It's a matte polish. There's even some pieces sparkling away. I can see some down here. And then the back is a rough polish, which is also incredibly cool. So Mexican crazy lace. We have this piece of mica. My sister is a mica lover. This is very brittle. I can hear it. You can see the pieces coming off. Very, very brittle, but stunning. So yellow, gold mica, whatever you want to call that. So this, I had to ask her what this is. It's called zeolite, Z-E-O. I don't know much about it, but I love how it's so sparkly that it looks wet, shiny and wet looking. Very cool. This is another piece of zeolite. This one is more sugar druzy, so not as like wet looking, but really, really interesting. We have a black moonstone, birdie, very good quality black moonstone, larvicite. You can see the shimmery pieces, perhaps. Not sure if the camera's picking it up, but cute little birdie. We have this stunning clear quartz. When she bought this, I was like, that's mine. She had videoed me and I was like, I want that. I will pay you for that. There are insane rainbows, especially right here. I don't even think the camera is picking it up. It's hard for me to see if the camera is picking it up. It doesn't look like it, which is really unfortunate. And you can see them through the other side. So this is beveled and this is flat. It did come like, that's a polished chip. So that didn't happen in transport. They polished it like that. Do not care. I can't wait to get this on display. Get a stand for it. So not really sure what this is. This could be a calcite or a quartz. Not entirely sure, but also a stunning sparkly piece. This is calcite. No, apophyllite. Sorry, this is apophyllite. Very orangey peachy looking apophyllite. Very cute, very pretty. I'm becoming increasingly obsessed with apophyllite. This is vanadinite. Vanadinite, that's how you pronounce it. Vanadinite. Also incredibly sparkly. I saw this a lot at the Gem and Mineral show that I was just at, and it was very pricey. So I have this little tiny guy here. We have a cubic formation of pyrite. I don't have a cubic pyrite, so really pleased with that. This is a box of goodies. So we have another blue lace agate. This one, my sister said, is specifically for my mom. This is my mom's piece, so she's gonna get that. Really interesting shape and also very decent tactile experience. We have a pink opal cloud. Very pretty. And many, many purple mica slabs. So she sent a lot of these purple mica slabs. That is a chonker. Very pretty. Like I said, she is a pink mica fan. We have some bees. So we have a moss agate bee and a lepidolite bee. Again, her and I are both big bee guys. We have this stunning chunk of Larimar. Larimar is becoming very, very pricey, and it's not for her. So she lives in Tucson, Arizona, and all of these are incredibly less expensive. So much more inexpensive for her to buy than for me. So love that I have this honking piece of Larimar. I got a clear quartz skull. So funny. I was talking about wanting one, and now I got a clear quartz one. So that's insane. This she is not sure of, but these formations are crazy. How they form is just really neat. So not sure if it's a calcite. I feel like I know what it is, but it's not coming to me at the moment. Oh, that one is loose. That little spike is loose. Really cool formation though. Really, really neat. Kind of like dragon scale almost. We have a bumblebee jasper mushroom. So this, not entirely sure. I think it's called truffle chalcedony or panda agate or wombstone. Like all three of those are the same thing. So truffle chalcedony, also known as panda agate, also known as wombstone. So interesting and weird. Don't own anything like that, so that's really cool. We have this pendant, this cactus pendant, probably a clear quartz, I'm guessing. We love cactus, so that's really pretty. She sent raw pieces of amber. Now they did really get banged up in transport, so I think it was probably 3 pieces, and then shards kind of came off of them. Let's do that. So these I can use as tumbles or put them in my purse or whatever. My mom will definitely be getting a piece of this. So weird. They're so light, and so it feels so wrong how light they are and how they have a weird sound to them. Okay, so this is apophyllite or calcite, not sure. Very pretty. The cubic formation. She told me what this was. Oh, it's chalcedony. This is cool. I'm keeping this one for sure because the tactile experience with this one is really cool. So just so interesting. But a very soft pink, a light pink. Definitely keeping that guy. This is, again, it's going to be an apophyllite or a calcite. Not sure. Oh, so pretty. I love that there's like a blue hue here where that matrix is. And this is definitely apophyllite, again with the blue hue. Some sugar druzy around it. Really pretty. And I think that's it. I think we did everything. So I do realize I powered through it, but it was a lot to get through, and I don't want to sit here for too long in case you're not overly interested. But long story short, my sister's the best, and I probably will have to pay her. I don't think I'm going to get away with getting all of this for free, so I probably will have to pay her like the last time she sent me stuff, which I still haven't paid for. But God, insane. I love her so much. Decks that I used in July. Like I said, July has been insane. I started off strong with tarot decks, but it just kind of took a nosedive at the end of July, which I think I've said in the past I have found this summer is a little rough for tarot because I'm so busy. It just kind of goes on the back burner a little, but I did in the beginning of the month start strong. So we'll talk about the decks that I used in the month of July. So we started off, of course, with Light Seers, and I paired it with the Pocket Archetypes. Light Seers for me generally does come out in the summer. I don't think it's a stretch to say it's a summer deck, but I decided to pair it with the Pocket Archetypes. I thought this was a good pairing. The Pocket Archetypes, though, for me, I find I really have to be in the headspace. It's a little deep for like an everyday pull, but I did give it a go for a while just to see, I don't know, I thought they were like kind of feeling each other this summer. So this is kind of where I landed for a little bit this summer, and I did like them together. I definitely have to dive into the guidebook with the archetypes, but that's okay. You know, we don't have to have all of our meanings memorized, and I am not an archetype master as it is. So it's definitely one that I need to go to the guidebook with and do a little deep diving and do a little bit more thinking. But I did really enjoy these ones together. It's so frustrating though. I find with like the Pocket Archetypes, I was continuously pulling the same cards. It's like, come on, give me something else. Give me anything else. So I did enjoy these guys together. And I think that the colorway is, it's always so interesting to me when I get a random reversed card because I don't add reversals in. I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, this worked well. I enjoyed this together. It worked fantastic. I like working with the Light Seers in the summer. Interesting. I think I might stick with this one for a little bit just because the last half of July I was so busy that I didn't really get to read as much as I would have liked. But I did enjoy this pairing. We are going to leave the archetypes out because once I got my next deck in, I was obsessed with it. I used it all the time. I got the Stunning Tarot. So, one of my gripes or my concerns with this deck, it's not a gripe because it's right there in front of you, you know it's what you're getting, is how am I going to shuffle this deck? I really love the artwork. It's such a beautiful deck. And I've seen people use it over the years, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it, and I will figure out the shuffling later. And that's also the reason why I kept my purple background for this video instead of the typical Greek one that you see, because I just felt like this deck has a lot going on. There is a lot of color. And there's just a lot happening. So I thought that the other matte in the background would be too much of a distraction. But like when you spread these out, we're just going to do a quick little one. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. That color just makes me so incredibly happy. So for shuffling, here's what I toyed with. So this is kind of where I sort of landed, is spreading them this way, because I can't quite, like when I riffle, I like to have a finger down on top for pressure to bend, but I can't quite make that happen with my hand size. So, and it requires some setup. If I'm not on a flat surface, it requires a lot of setup, as you can see. But I kind of toyed with just doing it like that, but sometimes it doesn't quite work all the way. Like you can see, we've got some issues there, but it's not terrible. The other way I kind of thought about doing it is like this. This one I kind of toyed with. I think I can perfect this if I keep doing it and I get my jumpers that I like and they don't pop out in like multiple chunks of jumpers, which I don't like. I like my one jumper at a time, max 2. So this is kind of where I've landed. And like I said, I think if I keep up with this, it'll get cleaner. But this deck is totally worth it for me. Like I said, I knew going into it that the shape was very long and not what we're used to working with. So it's not like that surprised me in any way, shape, or form. So I did use this one with the archetypes a little bit, but I found, interesting, it wasn't my favorite. I feel like this is too rainbow colored in the archetypes, and this is too, the color palette is more concentrated in the Stunning Tarot. So not my favorite pairing here. So we moved on. The Reclaim Oracle. I thought it would be perfect with it, but not an everydayer. I can't do the Reclaim every day. I tried for a little bit, but the messages were like with the Reclaim Oracle, I find that it's for deep emotional work. Let's lessen this chunk so there's not as big of a shadow here. It's for really deep emotional work, and I have to be prepared to do that emotional evaluating when I use the Reclaim Oracle. So I really tried to not think as deeply with the Reclaim when working with it with this deck. Ooh, Ace of Coins and Envy. The color palette though, ooh, is so good. The Emperor and Control. See what I mean? Like, it is perfect. The Devil and Expression. But there are some heavy hitters in the Reclaim Oracle, and those ones kind of scare me a little, just because I think they require a little more work, a little more thinking, a little more deep diving, and on like a daily morning message, it wasn't always what I wanted. What is happening here? This is insane. Integrity, King of Cups. Oh my gosh. The Lovers and Joy. Oh. Pride with the Five of Coins. That's an interesting combo. Appreciation with the Page of Cups. Support with Temperance. What is happening? Detachment with the Hierophant. Okay, you can see they work really well together. Like, it's not just in my head, which you can't say that because I think it's pretty obvious that this would be a good pairing. So I did work with that, with the Stunning Tarot. And then the other one I worked with was my Outgrow Yourself. And I think this is also a pretty obvious pairing idea. So what I learned though, I love the Outgrow Yourself. I absolutely love it. But I was using it as a nighttime pull, a nighttime, like a day reflection. Trust and Rest with the Chariot is really good. Even those reds playing on each other, love it. But sometimes for an end of day message, it was a little too, like, it was almost like, oh, if I would have got this message in the morning, that would have been perfect. So I really wanted to switch it up and start using the Outgrow Yourself with the Stunning Tarot for a morning message pull instead of an evening message. And then July just got so busy that I never ended up making that switch. It was something I wanted to do, and then Express Yourself without limitation with the Queen of Wands, of course. Yeah, it just never ended up happening. So that is something in August I'm going to be moving forward with as well, using this one in the morning. Using this pairing in the morning, and then maybe the Reclaim in the evening as a day reflection. but I think that they worked really well together. Sometimes the colors aren't as perfect depending on the card you get, but I do think that they worked well. Yeah, really good. I'm really enjoying them. And like I said, I'm going to try working with this pairing in the morning instead, because there were so many times I wish I wrote down examples. I always do this. I wish I wrote down an example of, oh, well, that would have been good to hear 10 hours ago instead of right before I'm going to bed. That message would have helped me 10 to 12 hours ago. So, Stunning Tarot. I know that there was a couple people who had issues with, I guess it's the printing. I found one card that had a printing issue. I want to say it's the Hermit. I could be wrong. Here we go. So, you can see there's just ever so slightly, it looks like the bottom part of this card popped up on top here, so maybe from the card, like the stack above it. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I'm okay with that. I mean, it's noticeable, but because of the colors, I think it's okay. It's only more noticeable on this end. I mean, it happens. It's an independently published deck, so I'm not gonna make a stink about it or anything like that. I did see other people who had more, so I'm okay that I just have the one that I've noticed. I did splay them all out when I first got it, and it's the only one that popped out, and I was like, you know what, I don't even want to look. If I am not noticing it, I won't know it's there. I won't see it. So that one was the only one that jumped out. But other than that, I'm pretty pleased with it. I do enjoy it. I was kind of unsure. Like when I purchased it, I was like, this is the first deck I've ever purchased from like a collector's viewpoint. Like it was more so collecting the artwork, but I am happy, and it is going to be a user deck. Like, I mean, I don't have decks that I don't use anyway. I use all of my decks, but it is going to be one that is in the regular rotation of decks that I use. Edging, I don't know. What color are people edging this? That's a tricky one for me. I mean, you could go black, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how black would look, especially when you get these like turquoise cards. If it bled, I'd be so disappointed. But fantastic deck. So happy I finally got my hands on a Unaasi Joust deck. So yay, those are the decks I worked with in July. And that is it. That's July 2025. And I will leave you with my moon tray for August, which I am obsessed with. And that's it. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you when I see you. So the moon tray, this is what we had going on for July. I had talked about switching it up, but never actually did it because I really wasn't even home for the last half of July. I did, however, add a few things. So I added the bumblebee jasper mushroom that my sister got me. I added the bee that my sister got me, and these bees. So I added a lot of bees, and then a bracelet that I was just lazy and tossed in there. So this is kind of what I had going on for July, but now we're into August, which is like Leo season, last half of Leo season, and really hot and fiery. July was really hot and fiery, so I could have done this in July, but I'm really looking forward to getting like the reds and the yellows and the oranges for August. So let's fix her up and I'll show you what I got planned for August. And this is where we landed for August moon tray, and I love it. It has a lot more smaller pieces than I'm used to putting in. I have to keep my hand in frame because if I take my hand out, everything turns blue and it's super weird. So it has a lot of smaller pieces, and I added some kind of like accessories like these brass bees, but I think they complement it perfectly. And I just love it. It's the exact vibe I was wanting for the heat for August, for this kind of situation. So there is so much in here. We have a lot of red jasper. So under the bumblebee mushroom, we've got a red jasper tumble. That's a red jasper. That's a red jasper. This is a red jasper. This is, I think, a red jasper heart. It's new. That's a red jasper. That's a piece of petrified wood. Of course, we have carnelian. So carnelian, 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 a carnelian mushroom. I kept in some citrine pieces, so a couple citrine tumbles, and the DT, the yellow calcite, the orange calcite stayed. We have a sunstone that's kind of hiding back here. Oh, that's another carnelian. We have a golden healer. I'm not entirely sure what that heart is. It's been in here before, I think. Also not entirely sure what this definite heat treated piece is. Bumblebee, bee, bumblebee jasper, tiger's eye, yellow calcite bee, onyx bee, crazy lace agate, tumble. Is that everything? That's a citrine, a heat treated citrine, another tiger's eye. I think that's everything. Oh, we've got my red jasper and hematite pommy. So I love it. I'm really, really pleased with how it looks. I think it perfectly captures the heat and the warm of summer. And like I said, those bee accents I think are perfect as well. So that's August Moon Try.